Princess.
Hi, Ruby.
Stand over here so I can get coffee and get out.
Yeah, run away, come back.
Okay. Hold on to my car.
Wait, that guy is a judge in this?
That happened to me at the Vinewood Bowl when they done like the music awards. Oh my god, half the people I couldn't even see.
Cheers.
Yeah, that was weird. How are you?
Doing alright.
Nope. Okay.
Are you sure you're doing alright? That sounded very kind of like, yeah.
Comment I'm too fat.
You know, a lot going on.
Yeah.
This is stressful,
Busy.
but yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You blessing the chairs or some shit?
Come on. Come on.
Blessing.
What bleep sound?
Have you ever got hold of him?
Yeah, he's changing for court.
Okay.
How's it going,
Hello,
Arthur?
Senor
You like
Braun.
the
I'm
face?
just blessing
Fucking
you guys.
shit
Giving you the
violet.
powers of
Yeah, dude.
Warhammer and
That
the
is fucking
Bruja
dope.
himself.
The
Fred?
Honorable.
Thanks for doing
You got
this.
some powers of warmer for
on
me?
fire in the middle of a thunderstorm.
I got you. You ready?
No little, maybe a
Crash
little nose
landed.
powder.
Crash
power?
landed.
No.
It blew up.
Little
Perfect.
picnic.
Fire to begin with.
I got some over here.
Roy?
That's a crash.
Don't worry.
Oh, yeah,
Some
Nino-
of
Nino's
my,
go-to.
Crash implies a hard,
Some of my
unsuccessful.
Opens coffee lid.
That you,
Still
Fred?
fucked up
I'm
at the
s-
end,
I'm
so
s-
I'm
I
considering
appreciate
it a crash.
Look at
Oh
that.
man,
Clearly,
That was
that's terrible.
that was a little too intimate for
Let
my
me
liking.
transfer that.
Nino's got your back. You need some of the power.
Look at Benny over there mind controlling him. Shit's gonna work.
At this time, I'm gonna ask the court to silence your phones.
Done and done.
Court is called into session for the People versus Edgar del Castillo. Are all parties present and ready to proceed? Obviously,
Your Honor,
No,
with
no,
respect,
no.
my client
Secrets
is
out.
dressing for court and on his way as we speak. I'm obviously a substitution, so we were doing our best to prepare with the time given, Your Honor.
where is Silas?
Silas is not able to take the case. You can confirm that with my client when he arrives, obviously. But I don't know much beyond that. I was called in last minute.
So not only are we waiting because the defense needs a wardrobe fix, but now I'm being told with no motions of the docket, no made of awareness, that the defense attorney on one of the biggest cases in our city's history is absent.
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
Okay.
Again, you can ask my client directly when he arrives, if you need to confirm it.
Very well. Considering the nature of this case and the magnitude of it, I am willing to give leniency and patience. The defense has 5 minutes to appear,
Pasa, Nino.
no more,
Thanks
or else
for
we'll be
standing on
receiving
this
failure
side.
to appear.
Get in here.
Absolutely.
This court is put in recess.
Yes, the judge is not happy. Get in here.
Congratulations, Carter. Justice was served today.
Recess time already?
Didn't even happen yet.
Nino, do you have a drink?
I got Coke.
Not quite. I'm a witness.
Oh, gotcha.
God damn it! Could you wait 5
Your Honor,
minutes,
a
Edgar?
further recess will not be necessary. We are ready to proceed.
Fantastic. All right, we're calling the court back into session. Mr. Castillo, can you please explain to the court as to where your defense attorney is?
Well, I would love to, but I don't know where he is.
Very well. Is anyone in this courtroom aware of where Silas Moreno is?
You can't tell her that he's in the ICU.
All right, at this time, I have no other option but to issue.
When he is, all I know is that if you check the medical records, he may be in the hospital.
I
can confirm that if you need be.
Excuse, I just asked where he was, and you guys
Oh,
knew
I'm
he
not
was in the
saying I can
hospital.
ask
That's
the
very
doctors.
drastically different than me issuing a failure to appear for this guy. Hello?
I'm saying I can reach out to doctors and ask.
Okay. Carter, if you could do that, it would be much appreciated because I really would
Cool.
prefer not to give an attorney who has an impeccable record a failure to appear. Mr. Castillo, can you tell me who your defense attorney is at this time?
My defense attorney will be Senor Murphy Brown.
I think she's asking about the one who's in hospital.
No,
Excuse-
I'm asking if it is you now.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, Mr. Castillo, considering this is your criminal case, you have a right to a fair trial. Your attorney is being brought in at the 11th hour. I must ask, are you sure you are comfortable with this?
I am not comfortable, but I am sure. I wish to proceed with Senor Murphy Brown.
You can understand my reservations, as this is your right. But if you are understanding that this is the situation that you are currently in, I will entertain it. As part of pretrial matters, the court does approve Murphy Bond being the defense attorney for Edgar Del Castillo. All right, let's start moving into this.
Stilo?
shall we? Do we have any other pretrial matters we need to attend
Is
to?
it Stilo?
Prosecution?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing. All right. Defense?
Your Honor, if I just may ask before we proceed, if there can be any beverage and food distribute.
I don't see why not. Does
We'll
anyone
be
have
here a
some-
while.
Yes, thank you.
I have some
Officer Price.
food as
I
well.
believe Price is assisting. If I'm.
Thank you.
I have
Your Honor, we're
25 meals
trying-
on me.
Your Honor, we're
Why do you
trying to
have
find a doctor
25
to.
meals on you, Opal?
You
know,
see-
I
It
don't
is
know.
very
I
generous.
I don't want to
She's
know.
fat.
Never mind. Dismiss.
Your Honor,
Dismissing
we're
that.
trying
I
to
don't
find
care.
a
I
doctor
don't
to
care.
confirm about Robin, not Robin, Silas. Talking of Robin, can we ask that he comes to our side, considering he's a witness and possible tampering over that side? Please.
That is a very good point.
Wait, this is
Dr.
a-
Ferrara, you are a
D-
witness for the prosecution. I must ask that you-
Yes, I am.
Over here, Robin. Come on, home team. We missed you. Come on.
What?
You're seriously asking me to stand over here so they could
Ah!
potentially tamper me as well and coach me and tell me what they want me to say?
If
Okay.
Edgar gets
Consider
antsy, I need you to do the
their
Gandalf
witness.
thing where he
They
hits
are
the
more
ground,
than
the white light
Judge
comes
Bow
out and
enough.
sprint away.
Wait,
Considering you are the witness,
this is
the
what?
prosecution-
Wait, hold on a second. The pews have nothing to do with that.
We are here
Unless
today
there's
to examine
disorder.
criminal charges brought against Edgar Del Castillo. Mr. Castillo, can I please have you step forward?
What the hell?
Fucking miss you, man.
Are you aware of the nature of today's proceedings and the charges being brought against you today?
Been to a bunch of these, okay? He's gonna be good.
I believe so.
All right. Today you face several charges.
We're here for you guys.
Let's see. To the charge of
hand looks like Jimmy
one
Page.
count serial assaults and killings, how do you plead?
I'm gonna sit behind you, Benny.
Not guilty.
To the charge of one count murder of a government employee, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Hey, what's up, man?
To the charge of one count first-degree murder, how do you plead?
Wait, what's that?
Not guilty.
To the charge of one count of attempted murder of a government employee, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was
To the
going through
charge
that
of one
question
count of
and everything.
desecration of a human corpse, how do you plead?
Yeah, it's nice, right? Yeah, no, me too.
Not
talk
guilty.
later.
And to the charge of
He's
one
so
count of evidence
strong.
tampering, how do you plead?
Does he not just say not guilty?
Not
Come on,
guilty.
shake hands.
All right, very well.
so tiny.
Let the record show that Mr.
gotta
Castillo
sound
has
really
pled
like
not
this
guilty to
photo.
all charges. Edgar, you may sit back down. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Wait, should I sit on the side?
All right. Last attempt. Any pretrial
This is a much
matters?
better spot, to be honest.
No? All right. Now that pretrial matters are concluded, we can go ahead with openings. I would like to remind the court that I have broken this case into 2 separate sessions. We will hold openings and the prosecution witnesses today, and then tomorrow at 6 p.m. we will have the defense's side and closings. All right, let's begin with openings. Prosecution, you're up.
Your Honor, people of the court, today we're going to be covering a series
I don't have to hear
of
the
violent
yapping in the
acts,
background.
all committed by the same individual. Today we're going to be covering many reports, so many that we ran out of letters on the docket, of testimony
Oh my
of
God!
officers to corroborate these reports, of vicious, violent acts of aggression, of murder, of a man continuing to assault anyone that gets in his way. Today we're going to be going over in detail the evidence we have. We'll be detailing out video evidence, interrogations, and various different scenes across several different officers of the state. I ask the court to please pay attention to all these things as we cover a vast array of different scenes and scenarios, all articulated in this string of serial assaults and killings. It's going to be a lot. And I appreciate this court today, and I hope that we're able to find justice at the end of the day here. And that we can hold ourselves to a standard where people are not allowed to just murder whoever they want whenever they get in their way. I look forward to providing the evidence that the state has gathered.
Thank you, prosecution. Thank you. Murphy, do you need a moment for an opening?
No, I mean, I keep it light on the opening anyway, so I should be just ready to go off the cuff.
Okay. Let me know if you
Your
need
Honor,
any time for anything considering the situation.
well, I'll probably get that time at the close of today when we recess for the defense tomorrow, so I'll be fine, Your Honor. Thank you, though.
Thank you, Murphy. All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the court, this case consists of a variety of some of the most serious charges that we have in our penal code. It is a matter of great importance that justice be served for not only the individuals who have lost their lives, but also for the young man who is standing trial. Due process is the cornerstone of our government institutions. We must hear both sides of this story, and the defense is confident that when the court hears both sides, the prosecution's evidence and the side of my client, Mr. Castillo, that justice will be served and my client will be found not guilty.
All right.
He's so
Thank
strong.
You. I love that. Short, sweet, and to the point openings. Thank you, both sides. We'll go ahead and move into the prosecution's first witness.
We're calling Marshal Astrid Lark first.
All right, very well.
Hi.
Hello, Marshal Lark.
Hello.
And thank you, DOC. Do you mind swearing her in?
Sure thing. Please raise your hand.
Mm.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you Mitch.
I do.
She has been sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. All right, prosecution, you may proceed with your questioning.
He's so
Please show
strong,
rank
my
to the
boy.
court, please.
Just Marshal. I believe when I first found out about any of this, I was a deputy marshal, full marshal now.
And how long have you been a marshal for?
Oh God. I don't remember. Maybe almost a year.
Were you on duty on a day in question being the 26th of October 2024?
That sounds familiar, but it has been a while.
If you need a reminder, it's going to be this is going to be in regards to the Aaliyah Courts murder.
Perfect. Okay.
When did you first become aware of Aaliyah Court supposedly being deceased?
Who is that?
The first time. Apologies. May I reference the documents? That whole thing was very confusing.
I'm fine with that. It's up to the judge.
Yes, absolutely. Considering the number of evidence that's been submitted, I believe any witness that needs to look and reference a report will be allowed at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If it helps, all the evidence in regards to this witness is going to be the people's A to the people's G.
Thank you. I do remember the first time I was made aware. I was on duty alone, trying to find something to do. I saw a 911 about someone being shot, and listened on radio, and no one was able to find the body. Since I was concerned for that, I continued paying attention and checking the hospital in and out. At which point, someone had been found there. That was Aaliyah, and I assumed that was the person, so I went in to see and investigate.
Okay. Did Dr. Naya Nashville state how Aaliyah Court made it to CMC?
I believe she told me that she was just found in the lobby of the hospital, bleeding out.
Wait.
All right, you stated in
He
your
killed.
statement in
He did
People
kill her.
Dr. Naya Nashville could not offer a conclusive time frame.
Like, what the fuck?
How did you come to this conclusion?
I'm kidding.
It was.
Nino knew.
I tried to get specific details to see if Aaliyah's injuries might have lined up with the time of that 911 call that I'd seen. However, she seemed to indicate that it might be sooner, but that she wouldn't be able to tell, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Do you recall what injuries Aaliyah Court had?
I believe it was numerous gunshot wounds.
And to your knowledge, do you know what kind of firearm was used?
Not to my memory. No.
Okay. I'm going to reference to the People's A. There is some 911 calls added into the evidence. To your knowledge, where was the location of the 911 calls?
To my knowledge, I believe it was an island over to the west. That was where they looked, and eventually we went back there at some point. It was one of the islands off to the west of the island.
Can you recall what evidence was found on the island?
I believe that there was casings and blood found on the island, but I was not there to gather it. However, I was taken over there later and told that that was what was found.
Your Honor, could we get a picture on the screen? It's going to be the reconstruction of the island VR picture.
Very well. Give me one moment.
No wonder this is going to be a long court case. They're going through each thing and they're on one of 6 bodies.
This one, correct?
Yeah. Is this the island and evidence which you've just stated?
Yes, this is that.
You stated in your statement that Edgar seemed extremely distressed. How did he seem extremely distressed?
When he showed up to the hospital, he was angry, going off on everyone about how she could be deceased, partially in denial, seemingly erratic. At one point, we were concerned that he would hurt anyone, so we had officers brought down.
Okay. In your statement, it also claims that you overheard Edgar on the phone. Do you recall what he was saying?
From my recollection, I believe he indicated that they were going to do something, and then left, which had us on our toes.
Did anything occur at the hospital after this phone call?
Yes. A time later, marshals and officers were all called away to a scene at MRPD, and during that time, the body of Aaliyah was stolen.
Within the People's A, there's an update stated on the 2nd of November 2024 within your statement. Did you write this?
I believe I did.
It states that, quote unquote, that the autopsy of Aaliyah Court was falsified and her body stolen to hide this fact. How did you become aware of this?
That information was kept private within the Marshal's department for the safety of everyone involved.
And was you involved on the second incident where
You're
Aaliyah's body was found?
you're surprised, man. You must be new bone. It's all good though.
And what injuries did she sustain that time?
Ryan finally retired. Wait,
had
what do you mean?
Been shot again, this time in
Oh, because you said Rip Ryan today.
and was gone before I got there.
Were you able to identify what kind of firearm was used?
Wait, did she get shot on our special island? Oh no, that's not.
Focused on her.
That's the island with the house.
Was you the individual to inform Edgar about Aaliyah Court's passing at this time?
I was.
And how did Edgar react to hearing this news?
It was an entirely different response to the first incidents. He was silent on the phone for an extended time. When I eventually said that this wasn't a trick, that I just wanted to let him say goodbye to his friend, he said something along the lines of, I've said all I had to say, and hung up.
So it says in your statement that he said that he'd already said his goodbyes. Do you know why this was said?
I could make assumptions, but I do not know for sure.
Now, what was Edgar's attitude and tone on the phone call?
He was silent the entire call, other than that statement.
And as your experience within your time as a marshal, is it normal for people to have the attitude which Mr. Castillo demonstrated after informing him about Aaliyah?
It's not necessarily abnormal how he reacted. What I would say is abnormal is the stark difference in reaction.
How is this allowed? This implies there's evidence
And
missing.
to your knowledge, did Edgar ever come to CMC to visit Aaliyah?
He did not. Later, someone else did attempt to, that we believe was associated with him, but we did not allow it, just to protect her body this time.
Can you recall the name of the individual that attempted to visit Aaliyah?
Not off the top of my head. I think I have it documented somewhere, but it may take me time to find.
No worries. No further questions.
I do apologize. I might need a moment after each line of questioning and crosses. I'm just trying my best to keep up with detailed notes. Murphy, are you prepared for cross?
I'm gonna need a sidebar anyway, real quick.
Very
So,
well. Do you want to
if you need a
approach
sec-
the bench, or do you need to check for
Evidence?
your client?
It's just procedural
Very
due
well.
to the scheduling of the case.
I'm actually surprised. So the thing that I'm noticing is that there's things that are being stated by the marshal in which they self-declare that they kept information from the court. Unless they actually posted it, which I don't know if they did. I gotta take a look at. Was it actually? That's what it sounds like. I can't go through all of it, but if they're testifying that they had evidence that they didn't end up sharing, that evidence needs to be posted. If it is not, it opens up the question of number one, without scrutiny, without the defense being able to scrutinize that evidence, it could be exculpatory. But the problem is that her statement in and of itself may be enough to, because there was no objection on the table. Dude, this is... Remember, you know what? Why we know he's fucked? Edgar is fucked here. Do you know why? Anyone want to guess? So right now, I'll put my own notes. Why he's fucked. They only need 1 out of 6 for murder. They for murder or wait. They fucked up. Why does PD do that? Okay. They locked in definitive charges.
Doc, can you come here? I've got a question.
So
how is Edgar on the phone?
You're shouting, Ruby.
Oh, awesome. How the hell is Edgar on the phone?
Enough.
Good question.
Mr. Costello, I will ask that you remain off your phone at this time. Marshal Lark, we are at this time going to ask you to be marked for recall considering the situation of the defense attorney. Are you available to come to the proceeding tomorrow at 6 p.m.?
They're just the same time, right?
Yes, correct. And if you need to be adjusted in that time period, we will accommodate.
If I could be early, that would be much appreciated, but I can come for that.
Okay, very well. Ron, would you like to motion for that?
Yes.
Assault and
defense motions
killings,
to
this
recall
shit
the
is used way too much.
Very well.
But it might
Marshal Lark,
apply.
you were marked for recall.
But they
for
did
tomorrow at 6
murder
p.m.
and
You
first
are good to
degree.
step down.
And they, but this was probably
we do not
posted
wish
a
to
long
cross
time
at
ago.
This time, just to be clear.
If they don't, if they can't, oh my God, bro,
move to the
they're
next
gonna have to
witness of the
prove
prosecution.
motive.
We're calling Lieutenant Ruby York.
They have to prove
Very well,
motive.
Lieutenant.
This is gonna be the same thing. This is gonna fall into the same trap. And they know this. Did they motion to change it? Oh boy, brother, he made this is actually interesting. Hold on. So,
Thank you very much. Go ahead with your questioning, Carter.
Could you please state your rank to the court?
Lieutenant LSPD.
How long have you been a law enforcement officer?
Ooh, crikey. A year and a bit, year and a half almost.
Were you on duty on the day in question being the 10th of December 2024?
I believe so.
This witness will be in reference to the action caption murders. Sorry.
yeah, they have
how
to
did you
prove
become aware of the
premeditation,
murder of action caption?
motive.
I believe EMS were responding to a 911 at the lighthouse.
And with Alia, they literally haven't shown where the motive or premeditation is.
Safety. Myself and another officer arrived on scene, and at that time, there were several individuals there, and the EMS were bringing action caption up the stairs along the side of the cliff.
Are you familiar with responding to violent crimes such as the one in question today?
Yes.
What was the nature of action caption's injuries?
Multiple gunshot wounds.
I think you just cut out.
Multiple gunshot wounds.
I didn't hear what you said.
Multiple gunshot wounds.
Wait, it might be me.
Carter, you're right. I hear you, Ruby, just for the record.
Okay.
I can also hear Lieutenant York. I think Aaron may be having an issue.
I can hear. Sorry, but I don't know what happened.
You're all right.
Can you just repeat your answer, please?
Multiple gunshot wounds.
To your knowledge, were you able to find out what kind of firearm was used?
I am unsure which firearm killed action caption. However, there were casings all around his DNA that came back to 2 firearms.
Were you ever able to retrieve any of these firearms?
Yes, the assault rifle was recovered.
How was that recovered?
It had been placed on action caption.
Did you ever run any DNA tests on the firearm?
Oh
Yes,
no.
we ran DNA tests on both firearms.
Did you get any DNA matches?
Sorry, apologies. On the one firearm, yes, there was DNA on the assault rifle.
Who did the DNA come back to?
Brandon Valentino and Edgar Del Castillo.
Were you able to identify whether this gun was used on scene?
Yes, the gun was used. The assault rifle was used at the lighthouse.
Okay. Did you run a ballistics test on the gun and check it for other scenes?
Yes, we did.
And did the gun come back hot to any other scenes?
I believe it came back to multiple scenes. I don't recall which ones. I would have to look that up.
Could you confirm if the same casings were found in the People's J, which is the Helen Wild murder? If you need to check the reports, you can do.
Can I check that, Your Honor?
Apologies. Yes, all witnesses are allowed
Who
to check
took-
reports considering the level of evidence submitted for this case.
Okay, one moment.
Wait. Who the fuck took this tape?
The casings from the assault rifle are the same as the casings on evidence J.
Okay. According to the evidence collected on scene, were you able to identify whether the assault rifle in Action Caption's possession was used against him?
Again, the autopsy just said multiple gunshot wounds.
Okay. Did you investigate Action Caption's murder any further?
Yes, we did. We were able to speak to both Mr. Del Castillo and Valentino.
Did you get any leads following on from them?
Absolutely nothing. It was a lot of stories and a lot of nothing.
A lot of nothing. That's a lot of
We're gonna
nothing.
move on to the People's End, which is a video
That's a
recording
whole lot of
of
nothing.
Action Caption's murder. Were you ever made aware of this recording?
Just one moment. Yes, I was made aware of this recording.
To your knowledge, how did PD become aware of this tape?
An anonymous source handed this tape to Carmine Costello at the funeral of
I would
Action
love
Caption.
for someone to be like, have you heard of
Were you
AI?
able to identify anyone on the tape?
Unfortunately, it is recorded.
Oh
from a
man, I
very,
miss being an attorney
long way
and
away.
saying shit like that.
Only assumptions can be made of the two individuals standing.
Have you
over the
heard of
body.
AI? Have you seen the Donald Trump AI videos? No further questions.
Couple questions of clarification. Lieutenant York, when you had stated that the individual Action Caption had multiple gunshot wounds, can you quantify that for me?
I attend a lot of scenes. I have also retrieved.
Have you heard of knife
people
play?
that are on the, on the edge of their life expiring, and also, unfortunately, on those that have expired, and the amount of casings that were found on scene were multiple beyond anything I've seen before. Not only that, I believe the autopsy states it as well.
Okay, so typically when you respond to a scene, what do you see then?
A few casings we may find, but this was more than a few for a single individual.
And to the best that you can recall, When you say more than a few as well, like, and you said it's many casings, can you quantify as like a couple magazines worth? What are we talking about here?
If a standard clip holds 12, I would say at least two clips.
Hmm?
Okay. And were you able to locate projectiles as well?
Excuse me, ma'am. That's not a clip. It's a magazine.
I believe so. I would have to check the report.
Okay. From your memory, did the casings and projectiles that went through the victim, did it appear as if all of the casings that were located on scene were used on the victim?
It is highly possible, based also on the video in evidence.
Okay. So, based on your experience as a law enforcement officer, this was an atypical scene then?
At first?
Vague.
I'm inclined to agree. And I fear that we're kind of running in very similar veins of circles.
It's okay. I can restate or I can move on. That's fine.
Vague and leading.
Anyway,
leading,
let's
but
maybe
okay.
move on. I think you've proven your point, Braun. Apologies, XP.
All good.
We have no further questions.
Your Honor, we're going to defer our right to cross-examine this witness and recall tomorrow, as with the last witness. If that.
York, are you available for recall tomorrow?
Yes.
Amazing.
Good
sorry, was that
strat.
proper motion? I was typing.
Yes.
Tomorrow is gonna
Yes.
be
Okay,
the
motion's
longest
granted.
court case
Lieutenant York,
ever.
You're going to be marked for recall tomorrow, and the motion to waive cross at this time is granted. You may step down, Lieutenant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Next witness from the state, please.
The state calls Robin Ferrara to the stand.
Oh, spicy! Spicy! In my opinion, I would love to see this more often. Is prosecution day 1 for big cases and defense day 2. I think that's better content. It also makes the court cases less exhausting. Jamming a 6-hour case together.
I do.
In a day is shit. Especially
Okay,
for
thank you
the
very much.
people working or
State, you may
defending
start
the
with your
case.
questioning.
Because by the time the defense goes up,
Mr.
we always
Ferrara,
used to have
can you
this
please
issue.
state what your current
You're
occupation
fucking
is?
cooked. You're too
Lawyer.
tired.
Okay, and were you on duty?
And they try to
servicing,
speed run the
your clients
defense.
on the 26th of January, 2025.
Can you ask who my clients are?
I mean, the defendant, you know, were you talking with him on the 26th of January, 2025?
Perhaps. Is that day significant in any way?
Well, I'm
Oh my
asking,
God,
I mean,
Robin
if
should
you
go,
want, you can,
huh? What?
Could have been, I don't recall.
Okay. You had contacted Aaron Carter on this date, is that correct?
I may have done. Like
there
I say,
thereabouts.
it's possible.
Okay. When you got into contact with Sergeant Carter, what did you get into contact with Sergeant Carter?
Objection. Facts not in evidence. He says he could have. He didn't say he did.
Given the lack of foundation, I have no idea.
Regarding
Objection, vague, Your Honor.
No, the feed was lacks foundation, Edgar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like the idea
Objection,
is...
lacks foundation.
Thank you, defense.
Can we just remind
Rebuttal.
Robin of the we can refer to the evidence that it's going to be the People's Tea Report 18096. It's going to be to do with the conversation he had with myself and Oshira.
Interesting. So, to Edgar's point, the initial line of questioning was in fact vague when you had the information. Can we assist Ferrara and make sure that any line of questioning that refers to evidence or reports that he has it, so he may refer to it at a better
Yo,
ability?
if I was Aaron, I'd crash out at that.
The People's Tea, you said?
Yes, the People's Tea.
This is like a double, because on one
yes, I
hand,
recall.
the objection is correct, but
okay,
Robin
was the
shouldn't be
nature of that
able to do
conversation
that.
with
They're
Sergeant
allowing
Carter?
it. And then the judge is jumping in on it
When
on
you say
Aaron.
nature, do you mean
Bro,
the
this might...
subject? Like,
This
The
is
call
the
that you had
play.
regarding that.
Oh my god, if Robin keeps doing this, bro.
I wanted to tell her something.
Oh, come on.
And what did you want to tell her?
A lie.
And what was that lie?
That Edgar had done crimes that he hadn't done as I wanted to put the case to bed.
Oh, shit! Why did they call him up? Yo, they're gonna... Oh, shit! He's saying that he made it up. Bro, how didn't they see this coming? Bro, you're a prosecution. You're putting up his attorney.
I apologize. I was actually having
Why
an issue,
would
hearing
they
at the moment.
think
Robin, would
his
you mind
attorney may
reiterating
not
your
throw
last,
when he's found alive?
Mhm.
Robin has no duty to
Edgar
be
had done crimes
honest.
that he hadn't done, as I wanted to put the case to bed.
Thank you.
Okay. So are you saying that everything that was on the docket regarding your interrogation was a lie?
He just created doubt.
Got my
Oh my god,
That's not what I
Edgar.
said at all. You haven't asked me about my interrogation.
Okay, well, what did you say to law enforcement officers regarding the People's Tea that was the truth? Was any of it the truth?
I told them that...
Objection, compound question, leading.
I can
Ron is
rephrase.
right.
Good.
Just break up the question.
Chat right now, Murphy, while they're on the
So,
back foot, object,
regarding,
the break them
People's
off their
Tea.
pace. Let them ask 2 questions, then object.
What was true in that investigation? Or I'm sorry, in that piece of evidence.
See, I don't
What would
recall.
say is that would be asking me to break attorney-client privilege.
Wait, that's not how that works. Let's see if
Apologies,
prosecution knows.
Is this interrogation not completely submitted into evidence in
Yeah,
its
it's
entirety?
People's Tea.
So when we're talking about the discussion, are we talking about the discussion on the whatever of January or the interrogation?
Because I believe his question was about the interrogation, if it was in fact the truth. Any part of the interrogation, not the conversation, correct?
We can change the question.
Please do.
We're going to reference to the People's Z, which is an interrogation with yourself. You confirmed in interrogation that you stated, given that client attorney privilege ends upon death, I can confirm all this is true. What did you mean by this?
What did I mean by attorney-client privilege ends upon death and that's all true? Or what did I mean by...
Exactly the quote I just given.
Are you asking about what? Okay. When I said interrogation, I confirmed that I had stated that, yes. I didn't confirm that it was correct.
So when you stated, given that client attorney privilege ends upon death, I can confirm all this is true, both in interrogation and on the People's T, Why did you state this?
I believe you're misstating my testimony, but in
I'm
regards
asking
to
you why.
when I said it in the interrogation, I confirmed that that's what I had said because that is what I had said. In regards to saying all of this is true, that was a lie.
You also stated that Edgar Del Castillo's body was never to be found. Why is that?
Another lie. It's quite clearly sat in that chair right there.
You seemed very shocked as heard in interrogations that he was found alive. Why is that?
Why did I seem shocked? Is that the question? Don't recall. I don't know.
Referring to the People's Tea, could you please read out to the court what is on Edgar Del Castillo's dying declaration?
It's not a dying
Would you like me to read the
declaration.
entire thing.
Wait,
Yes, I
it's
would.
not a dying declaration, though. What dying declaration? You can't have a dying declaration unless you're dead.
1 moment. Aaliyah Court was shot down on the Polito Beach, a few hundred meters north of the pier.
Oh, rip.
It was I who gunned her down in cold blood. It was I who attempted to fake her death so that she would be free of her charges. The latter happened a small time before she was killed.
Wait.
A series
So
of
if it was,
things were made soon
oh no,
after.
he fucked
Bruce
himself.
Baylor was the first that can be seen on
Oh
tape.
no. Oh no.
Aaliyah Court's body was then stolen out of the morgue and transferred to a secret compartment specially built
Oh
to house
god
such
damn it.
corpse.
Never mind.
The owner of the house is unaware
He's
of
caught.
this compartment. Find Mike
Robin's
Stargo
caught.
and show him this. Tell him it comes from Ed.
Unless the justice missed this,
An
he's
innocent
caught.
man who witnessed the taking of Aaliyah's body was taken to the lighthouse and shot down as the second offer. This innocent man's amigo was there as witness, but was threatened not to speak. Jules Montez was shot down soon after, not at the lighthouse, but was taken there after where
Now
I
let's
finished
see.
the job.
Now the
Alan Wilde was executed by myself in the cove north of the electrical facility on the east side of San
Oh
Andreas.
my
Witness the facts
God!
here, and it tells you what to find
What?
the video. AK was killed at the lighthouse. He was gunned down, and I was holding the AK-47 with which he was killed. There is a tape somewhere of this fact. I bear witness that all of this is true. I now go to atone for the death of Aaliyah and to balance the evil that was done. Edgar Del Castillo, pass, pass, pass.
Wait,
Was this dying declaration signed by anyone?
it's not a dying declaration. Object.
It appears to be.
Who is it signed by?
Assuming that the person who wrote their name is the same one who signed it, Edgar Del Castillo.
Ah!
And what was this signed with?
Probably a heavy heart.
Robin.
It looked like blood.
Oh
red ink,
my
I don't-
God,
And are
that
you
went
aware
from a
who this
W
blood,
to oh
belonged to?
no.
Nope.
Okay, the loop is getting
Given this
closed.
dying declaration.
When did I get given it? Same day I lied to you about it.
By who? I don't think this is gonna go how I thought it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Prosecution may not know how to do this.
Who gave you the declaration?
Okay. Prosecution might be too new to realize. They need to ask him.
Gave me it?
Hold on. He needs an alibi.
I think it was.
He needs a
well,
name.
Can't confidently say.
Okay.
What? The problem is
So, from my understanding,
this does not create doubt.
what was the purpose of you lying to law enforcement officers on an active investigation?
To make them believe that the case was done.
Why? Oh no.
Give them some closure.
Oh man, this could go either way, chat.
Why
Prosecution.
would you care about that?
Why would I care?
Oh,
that they were
Oxby.
not investigating people.
Oxy's cooking. Was Edgar your client?
Is that the question?
Why would you care to give the police closure on an
Oxby's
active
cooking.
investigation?
Oxby's cooking
I
here.
don't get as many calls asking me to do work.
He needs to establish he has motive to lie on the stand.
Okay, so you lied to police allegedly earlier. Why should we believe anything you're saying now?
Because I'm under oath this time.
No further questions.
No! Oh!
Thank you.
PD just threw.
No.
No!
Ron, how do you feel?
Oh my. That was a good
just,
ask, but
confirm
they
with my
didn't.
client for 1 minute,
They
please?
did.
Absolutely.
That was. I.
Also make note to the court that is probably the largest uptick in Twitter posting I've ever seen about a singular witness. So well done, everybody. Tony, if you open your mouth on Twitter again, I will give you contempt.
Wait. Why is the judge.
What me for?
Wait. Did she just
I said what I
do what I think she did?
Huh? Just me?
Just Sterling.
Okay, Your Honor. I just needed to confirm with my client if we.
If this goes sideways,
recall this,
they should just
or if he had any
file for a
questions,
mistrial.
now for him. We are going to opt to recall Mr. Ferrara if he's willing to appear tomorrow sometime.
Very well. Robin, yeah, that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then go cross today, Ron?
No, not at this time.
Oh no!
Motion's granted. Ferrara, you'll be marked for recall for tomorrow. And there will be a motion granted for no cross at this time by the defense. Robin, you may step down. Thank you very much.
Understood.
Hey, Carter.
Okay.
You ready?
So real quick.
Yeah.
I don't want. Okay. Real quick.
I believe this is the
Both
last
sides
witness from the state, yes.
undercooked. Oxby, I thought was gonna actually lead it over.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is he needed to grill? Why are you lying now? Who was your client? Da 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 da. Show motive. Because the thing is, if Robin just says I lied, the question is still open. If you lied, that means someone told you it was a lie. That these things were a lie.
Yep.
That there was, in other words,
Unlike some.
it's an unreason. You have to prove out your
Sergeant
alibi,
Aaron Carter,
Chad.
What departments or
To make an
special
affirmative
relations are you a part
defense,
of with
it
the
didn't
Los
close all the
Angeles
way.
Department?
It could literally go either way. I think both undercooked a little. They almost brought it over the finish line.
Okay. And were you the detective assigned to the case that we're here today for?
Both sides needed a dunk. Yeah.
Okay. So, in regards to why we're here today, were you the lead detective on all of the reports that were present on the docket?
Majority of them. Ruby was leading the action caption one, and I was working alongside her on that one because obviously they all connected together.
Okay.
And I didn't have any involvement with the Aaliyah one until obviously the dying declaration came into place.
Why are they not
What led you to
objecting to it being
believe
called a
that
dying
these,
declaration? That's a misstatement.
that these murders were correlated to each other? Is it just that dying declaration?
Wait, how do they keep saying dying declaration and it's not getting objected?
Because all the interrogations we had with Edgar and Brandon Valentino were all just constant, like, playing game stories. Like,
Are they going to prove that, like, he died and came back to life? Like, hello?
Okay. So what evidence were you able to gather across the reports that pointed at the defendant?
There is going to be multiple videotapes, especially the Halen Wild one. There's going to be a videotape of
Chat.
him shooting Bruce Taylor. At
This
the lake.
is still in favor of the prosecution right now.
The fingerprints
Well,
on the gun.
it's mixed.
Which obviously Ruby spoke about, which also came back to the murder scene. He was also apprehended at a prison scene where casings came back to Julio Montez's shooting as well. So everything always like connected to Edgar.
Okay. So let's go through.
I'll tell you as
Julio
soon as there
Montez's,
is where I think things
What was
are
your
in a moment.
responsibilities on the investigation of that murder?
I just don't want to
So
speak
I got
over.
passed on that one by Ship Free, and I done the phone subpoenas and stuff. That one was probably the hardest one to actually get evidence.
PD
for,
messed up the
because
charges,
It felt like a very
and their bar is really high,
unknown individual.
but the defense needs
and
a
it was really
very
hard
good
to hide this
affirmative
individual.
defense. They should have
Which obviously, like I said before, we eventually found casings matching the prison scene where Edgar broke in, and also we found casings coming back to that murder.
because the evidence all points at Edgar,
Okay.
which means the
So it was
defense needs an
casings that tied the
affirmative
two crimes
defense
together?
to say he didn't do it and that Robin's testimony is accurate,
In
but they didn't
regards
provide an
to, Julio
alternative,
Mendez, if it helps, you can
reasonable,
refer to report
like
1574.
scenario.
What
They
were the
needed
results
someone
of the
else to come
autopsy
in and say,
investigation?
I wrote it. You can't just be like, I lied, because what you lied about had motive as the client, and that document showed in detail information that only few people would know.
There was
Few people being people that had their DNA on scene.
He got shot from the back while standing.
But then again,
and
it
then there was
depends on the judge.
More than 20. Well, it says 27 plus GSWs.
In other words, it knew about the island and who shot and how they died.
Okay.
It knew about the da-da-da-da-da. It knew the
So
da-da-da-da.
was that the
Blood
cause
comes
of
back
death
to
then?
Edgar. Someone need to come in here and you can't just be like, I lied.
How much time elapsed between officers locating Mr. Montez and him arriving at CMC?
Do not know.
I don't know if the prosecution knows that.
Okay.
All right.
Was there any other accounts of his injuries other than the DOA report? You can refer back to the report if you need to, the 15773.
It was just the evidence which was found on scene with all the casings around the body.
Okay.
Oh, there's also a 911 call in regards to automatic gunfire and a dead body at the lighthouse.
Okay. Is it normal to have someone found with that many gunshot wounds just kind of left out and about?
No, this is 100% a targeted attack.
Okay. Is there anything else that leads you to believe that?
It's a very common location where someone will take people to murder them or at least attack them. We get called there quite a lot for these individuals. All of these murders and attacks as well were all in the same area. They were either at the lighthouse or the surrounding areas.
Oh.
Okay. And when you say at the lighthouse, can you give that in like relation to how far away from emergency services that is? How long would it take for them to respond to those kinds of calls?
I mean, it's going to take a while if they're coming from CMC.
Okay, what about PD response time up there?
Oh.
I understand we have the Blaine County, the BCSO, but unfortunately, a lot of those patrol in the city too, so again, it'll take a long while.
So that's going to be an area of very poor response time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That shit's on the record.
Regarding the other individuals that you were investigating, were the remainder of these?
I hope people
all
heard
in
that.
the lighthouse?
I definitely
Or
said
were
it
there
out
any
loud.
not there?
I hope people heard that.
Objection, confusing.
Yeah, I'll restate that. That's my fault.
I didn't do it loud, but I
regarding these
definitely.
murders, did they all occur in that area?
Yeah, like I said before, it's either at the lighthouse or the surrounding areas. I think what the one where Bruce Bates.
Did anyone hear that?
Lieutenant Gordo, and Halen Wild was just south of the. I think it's south of the lighthouse in one of the coves. And then all the rest, the O'Shara shooting was at a lighthouse. Julio was dumped at lighthouse. Action Catching was the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Okay, so emergency
Yup.
service response times to all of these locations would have been very poor, and it would have taken a very long time for anyone to get there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Uh,
Wait.
So you had mentioned
LSPD had to take
action
care
captions
of the
murder as
biggest
well.
trial.
What was your role in investigating that?
It was just assisting Ruby on that one. She took the main role.
That Blaine County has
And what
ever
was your role in
seen.
that?
Wait, I just realized. Where's BCSO? Wait, where is BCSO?
Incidents because, like I said, when we was investigating it, Edgar's name would always come up to it. And the gun found on action caption also led back to the scene of Dr.
Wait, I should be like, Princess, what's going on in...
Okay, how does Edgar's
Yeah.
name always come up?
I may need to take over Blaine County. What the fuck?
Subpoenas, his own, like, he would, like, make comments when we'd be out in the open and stuff, like, him
Wait.
and Brandon were constantly just playing mind games all the time.
Bro, it's actually,
Define that
jokes
a little bit
aside,
better. I'm just confused what you mean.
it's
by mind
really
games.
cooked if you think about
I
it.
don't recall exactly, like, word for word, because obviously, like I said, this has been over months, but, like, whenever they'd get arrested for, like, petty crimes, they'd make, like, silly comments referencing each murder and asked if we had enough evidence to prove it was them anymore.
Objection, that is bullshit.
Edgar, you can't object.
Edgar, bullshit is not a, perjury is a, emotion.
Again, like Robin said, I'm under oath, I'm not lying.
I will leave the objecting to Braun. If you feel like there's grounds, feel free
It's,
to object, but
We're going to withdraw that one. We'll see where this is going.
appreciate it. Thank you, Braun.
I would just
Continue.
like to leave before Brandon Schmanden. I would like for the courts to write that down, please.
Oh,
All right, we'll
wait,
make sure
there's
Brandon
B.
Brandon is on the record. Thank you much, Mr. Castillo. Oxby, you can continue.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Okay. So, regarding then, you had referenced as well, Dr. Halen Wild. What was your role in that investigation?
I was the lead on that one. I was the first person on scene. And when I arrived, it was a complete mess. There was casings everywhere. The guy was completely Swiss cheese.
Okay, when you say Swiss cheese, how many gunshot wounds did the individual have?
I'd have to look at the report, but there was a lot.
Hey, go ahead if you don't mind. It's going to be report number 15892. There's also going to be an autopsy, which is 15893 if you need it.
There was at least 50.
At least 50. Okay. All right. And what was the results of the autopsy?
That he had died from the GSWs.
Okay. All right. From the 50, like they weren't like after the fact, that was during.
The doctor said there was 2 to the side of his head, 34 in his upper body. His lungs were riddled with holes. His heart was barely holding together. His lower body, there were 16 GSWs, a punctured liver. His stomach was also ruptured.
One second. Whoever's whispering, can you please whisper quieter? Thank you. All right. Okay. And then regarding the tape, I know it was covered a little bit earlier, but how did you become aware of that tape? That'll be the People's K.
I really need to think about this one. I need to just look at the dying declaration a minute.
That's quite all right. Take your time.
Yeah, as I thought. The Halen Wild one was included in the dying declaration. There's a video link to it.
Okay.
If you want me to quote that, I can do.
No, it's, that's fine. We'll just refer to that then. It's completely fine. All right. So, regarding the investigation of the scene, when you were investigating the scene, leading that scene, how did that relate to the video evidence?
It was literally the exact same spot. So basically, the video was Edgar introducing who the guy was. I think they referred to him as a whisperer. No, he said some comment, and I can't recall what it is at this time about looking at it, but it was basically like he deserved it kind of thing. And all of a sudden, it looked like there was 3 individuals. You could only see, I believe, one no, and then Edgar calls out to like aim and stuff, and then he calls out when to shoot, and then there's a whole load of fire at the body, Halen Wild. He then goes down, and in the video, exactly where he was found. Where he went down in the video is exactly where he was found. And then again, the casings match exactly where the video shows as well.
Okay.
Murphy needs to ask, what is a dying declaration? Is Edgar dead? He needs to ask those 2
video or the
questions.
scene as more of an execution or a murder?
Both. The guy literally got tortured at that point.
Okay. Okay. I'll go ahead and move on from Dr. Halen Weldon. I'm going to ask you regarding, you had referenced when Oshira got shot. You were the lead investigator on that as well?
No. I was just informed about that when Edgar came back to life. Because he did have a warrant placed out for his arrest, and then that's when he went missing and supposedly went to purgatory.
Okay. So regarding your investigation into that report then, how is that relevant then to the defendant today?
I believe it's stated in the statement from O'Shea on the report, if I can remember correctly, that she was able to identify him.
Okay, the report number is going to be 12266 if you need it as well. You can refer back to it. And then did you play any role in any kind of follow-up on that investigation?
Yeah, what the hell is purgatory?
No. The warrant went out almost immediately, so it was just a case of apprehending him, which is when all the lighthouse stuff happened where he went missing. And I remember the warrant got took down because we was informed by Robin that he was dead, and we also had some evidence to prove that he had gone missing as well.
Okay, and just to confirm, where was that? Where did that shooting take place?
At the lighthouse.
Okay.
I mean, there's literally a note in the report saying from Sergeant Keen McNulty saying, considering this man is currently missing, may be presumed dead, I would put this warrant on hold until he or the body is found.
Okay. How did you use the shooting to aid in your investigation?
Say that again, sorry?
How did you use the shooting to aid in your investigation?
I'm confused what you mean.
It's okay. I can move on to another line of questioning.
Oh my God. The actual killer wrote the note after kidnapping Edgar and made him write it, sign it with blood, and the PD never investigated it. Because BCSO doesn't patrol up north, and they ignored his
the lighthouse.
Ignored it.
In regards to the
That's what they need to push the narrative of.
Besides all the attacks and the murders, there was the one where he went missing. And that was just before Robin contacted about him being dead.
Okay. And you said the one where he went missing. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so basically, Matthew Colby was on the run at the time, who was a wanted lifer. We had visual at them at the lighthouse after some suspicious activity at the Mount Gordo Lake. We went to apprehend Matthew Colby. Then some officers stayed on scene and attempted to apprehend Brandon, Fred, I think it was.
I realized.
I don't know. Someone shouted over there. Bobby Meldrum and Edgar Del Castillo. There's visual pictures of them all in the report as well. Basically, Norman Bones came at the lighthouse. He spoke to Edgar. Edgar went inside of the lighthouse. After some time, there was a big explosion. Officers surrounded the lighthouse, stopped anyone from leaving. I can't remember the female's name, but Sonia Summers, that's it. She was dragged out of the lighthouse at one point, and then a burnt individual who was believed to be Jay Hobbs also got dragged out. However, when officers went in to gather the evidence, there was nobody left in the lighthouse, which meant Edgar's body was still inside the lighthouse. However, he wasn't in there and had just basically disappeared. I know that sounds weird, but this is when we was told by Robin that he had gone to purgatory. His DNA was also found inside the lighthouse as well.
Okay, what makes you so confident that he had to have still been in the lighthouse?
Because officers was at the lighthouse the whole time and never saw him leave. Only 2 bodies came at that lighthouse and there was 4 people in there. Again, even Norman Bones didn't even come out.
Okay, were there any additional exits that maybe officers weren't watching?
Nope, that's here it is. One way in, one way out.
Okay. Was there any kind of perimeter set around the lighthouse?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Regarding the search warrant, the People's V. It was regarding Mr. Michael Stargo. Can you walk me through that investigation a little bit?
So after the dying declaration came in from Robin, I did run the DNA, which was signed in Edgar's name, and it did come back to him. So that led me to believe a lot more that the dying declaration was true. Robin was absolutely distraught. So that's when I started looking into things a little bit more. I done the search warrant on the house to try and find the body of Aaliyah Court to prove, obviously, the crimes Edgar had committed. And then we raided the property and found her.
Okay, can you clarify for me what you mean by it was his DNA on the dying declaration?
Why did I keep
that was
saying
blood.
dying
It was,
declaration?
in blood.
Oh my god.
Okay, and that was analyzed. Where was that analyzed?
In the lab.
Every time I hear it, I feel like it's the
And
most
that came
like
back with a positive ID
trolly
on the
troll.
defendant?
It's almost as if it's like going looking at the defense and be like dying declaration. Oh yes, and like seeing if they react. But I'm the only one reacting.
Okay. And what were the results of the investigation and search warrant of Michael Stargo's property?
There was a picture on the wall upstairs, and below that was like a hatch or something, and it like open and close all the time. And then behind there was a secret room as described in the note. So we had to knock down the wall, and then behind there was like some like freezer room, and the body was like in the
Okay, did you have any reason to distrust the validity of that dying declaration based on your investigation?
Bro, if someone says dying declaration again, I'm gonna lose my
Robin
shit.
said was a day and on a dying declaration, literally everything we had already
It didn't even take 3 seconds.
speculated. It just confirmed everything, like I said before.
Okay, and were you able to locate any evidence that would disprove or discredit that at all?
No, that's why I was quite shocked today.
I'm more surprised that Murphy hasn't objected to it.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, very well.
Maybe he has a plan to address it.
Do you know what a dying declaration is? Is Edgar alive?
I mean, is he the one that's sitting over there in that chair?
No, I guess not. I don't know. It's his cousin, maybe.
Shit. The fuck happened to his face? Is he like scarred all over?
Did they rest with their questioning?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
come on,
just
come
making
on,
sure.
do it, come on.
Yeah, we're going to mark this for recall. I'm sorry again, but I appreciate all the witnesses for that, and I just want to point out that we will be giving advance notice to the court if we discuss and do not need any of these particular witnesses.
Very well, it's appreciated. Let's keep those communications on the docket as much as possible.
That will be the plan. Your Honor.
Amazing. All right. If at this time you are motioning to recall her and waive the cross.
That might be the last witness.
Sorry,
yep.
Sergeant, you're going to.
Oh no, now it's Ashira and then it's over. Oh wait, and Naya.
And I believe that was the state's last witness. Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, it's over.
Are we all
Chat, we need to get the
comfortable
timer up.
stating
Get the
defense with
timer up.
Situation that we're currently in with having let's
Go,
have
go,
the
go, go.
lineup of recalls at the start of the day tomorrow, and then we'll move into the defense witnesses after that.
Of course, Your Honor.
Okay. Are we comfortable also in the same order that we had today?
Tomorrow's gonna be a
prioritizing,
long
Marshal
fucking
just because he
trial.
has some time restraints.
Absolutely. We'll work with whatever time considerations are necessary.
Appreciated. I believe I expected this half of our case to be much longer with the cross, but it seems like tomorrow is going to be the longer day, so I do ask everyone to prepare for it. There's quite a bit of evidence submitted today. I'm sure we all have some gratitude for the evening for us to have some notes put together for it. Tomorrow will be a long one. To everyone who has joined us in the court, you are welcome to join us again tomorrow. But at this time, I will be putting the court into a recess until 6 p.m. tomorrow. 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, where we'll resume with the recalled witnesses from the prosecution.
All right, not the most exciting first half, but our goal was to survive it. Set ourselves up for
All right.
the best I could do on the notice given.
Sure.
time I kill someone, you better be there for me.
Oh.
Aaron, Oxby, and Braun, can I have you a moment?
Can you grab my hand?
You say that about a lot of.
All right, thank you.
I just didn't know what I could.
The amount of sassy bullshit that's on my camera from you is amazing.
Wait, I barely said anything.
Well, the couple things you did say.
Oh yeah, I was
like
losing
if
my
they say
fucking
dying
mind.
declaration one more time.
Can I ask?
Sure.
I want you to take a look at this right here.
Okay, this Ruby person?
I appreciate
They have protected Blaine County. Where the fuck is BC? How you doing, ma'am? Where? How is it that there's people dying all over Blaine County? There's a fucking virus and all this shit. And where are they? Where are they? They're not showing up? Like, what is this? We got to take it back. Get ready. Y'all gonna be patrolling the entire island after this.
Yeah, there are some.
Serenade, we got some writing to do.
Definitely on the bad side.
Yeah, I'm not.
There's a comment there.
Yeah. I'm only kidding. We're not actually doing that, but that'll be spicy.
Yeah.
They're probably like, "Oh shit, he's taking." You know?